Gamers, welcome back. Nino Kuni, episode 44. We're back. Last time, we finally made Mom laugh, and now we're looking for Drippy. Hey, you two. I always forget what a sight it is to see old Mum pop out a batch of littlies. Disgusting, but somehow compelling at the same time. Okay, they're no use to me. We're looking for old Drippy. I think he's a little mopey. Back into, I can't remember what this place is called.
Look at Mr.Drippy.
The lilies love him. Tidy, tidy. Tidy, righty, tidy, righty. Yeah. He does have a caring side after all. Family's family, I suppose. Mr. Drippy. This is where you need to be. Shall we go? Maybe we should. This is where he belongs, after all. Yeah. It is, huh? Leave Drippy and head back to the ship? Damn. We're gonna leave our boy like that? Oh, Drippy. I leave town crying. Let's check the party real quick. Hello, hello, hello. How can I help you today? Drop off familiars. I want to drop off the side group, I think. Or maybe that is those are some of the side people that I liked. I should put them back in. Because I think I did like Hobgoblin when I saw its evolution. There's a bunch of other ones that I like, though. Ezekiel's one of them. It's pretty cool. Saleya, my girl. Falco, he's pretty cool. Fiona. Alright, I'm leaving town crying. Drippy. The fairy ground. I love how it's just like, you know, her fucking knockers hanging out the mountains there. What's all that about? You obtained gnome beard and a fight. Let's go. If Drippy's in this fight, I'm calling bullshit, by the way. Mohawk, A, B, and a stabber. Sabotage. Dude, we are, unless it's a boss fight, we are very strong right now, I feel like. We put in the time. We need to get some of the new guys leveled up, like obviously Samuel for Swaney, but I don't know if it's Swain or Swaney, but I'm sticking with Swaney. I'm pretty sure it's just Swain, but Dark Cloud. Or it's one or the other. I think I said Swaney and it's Swain, or it's Swaney and I thought it was Swain. One of the two, I don't know. Sprog Cog. I think I need that one. I need to check. If I can catch it here, I'll probably try and catch. Okay, cool. I'll probably try and catch, just because I think I need this one. I can always get rid of it if not. Sprog Cog, and we'll name him... Keep the Sprog Cog. Coggo. I think I would have remembered if we got that. I'm gonna name him, and this is more of like a nickname kind of name, but it still works. Slick. There's probably someone in the world named just like Slick. Slick, like greasing the cogs, greasing the wheels. Let's check if we have that one yet. I guess there's only one real way. Because I don't think I had the outside of the ferry. Maybe I did. Maybe I did have access to the outside of the ferry grounds, but there's one simple way to check. Let's retrieve. Looking for a Sprog cog. Yeah, I think we needed that one. Nice. Cool. Welcome in, Slick. We got Slick, Stan, Finn, Benji. Benji the Balloon. Chloe. Nice, yeah, we needed that one. Cool. Alright, now I'm leaving town crying. I'll never forget you, Drippy. Now there is Riz. Oh, I can't get over. See, there's a lot of sparkles on the map here. That I want. I want them. Whetstone. Don't know what it does. Bet you we can go in that cave there, huh? Rings a bell. Yeah, we have to try. Of course we have to try, come on. Easy, every time. Oh, it's the crab cave. Have we been in here before? Nature's tongue. Pinch me if I'm dreaming, but are you a human? We don't get many humans in this cave. Well, there's not a great deal to do, but I hope you have a cracking time anyway. We must have already been in here because these chests are open. Interesting. I don't know, it's been so long since we played Ni no Kuni, maybe I poked around this cave before, but... I mean, the chests are open, I'll take it, yeah. Okay. If you say so, mister. Let's get on the ship. We're leaving Drippy behind. I said drive. Honestly, I kind of want to take a few more fights on before we leave. I don't even know if we can catch up to anything. Also, what's over on this side? Doesn't look like I can explore that back half of the map. And then there's nothing really over here. I wouldn't mind a few more fights before we leave though, just because I feel like we have some of these new guys on the team that need some experience. Everything just runs away from us though. Meaning we're a little too overleveled to be here. But it's really just Eugene. Eugene's a beast, look at this. Boom. Bubble bath. Frankie, my man Frankie. That's nasty. There we go. Swaney leveled up to 26. Samuel leveled up to 20. Tony hits 18. That's good enough for now. That's fine. Because they're just going to run away anyway, so let's just talk to the captain. Captain Sinbad. Oliver? Thank goodness. Tell me you have at least found somewhere to shelter at night. We sure did, and we brought a ton of food too. There's a little village on the island, and... A village, you say, and food also. I'm pleased to learn this, and you will be pleased to learn that my men have completed the repairs to the ship. She's ready to sail upon your command. Shall I give the order to weigh anchor? Yes, yes. Yes, please. Are you troubled, I feel? Have you left something behind in the forest? I can't remember what voice we gave Sinbad. I have to hear him before I can properly give him the voice again, so... No, we're ready to go. Very well, we set sail. I will remember you. We did the right thing, didn't we? Of course. Family's the most important thing there is. We all know that. And besides, he's no spring chicken. It's probably about time he settled down. And you've still got us, Oliver. The three of us can do this if we work together. I guess so. Oi! Did you hear that? Huh? Oh, shit. We ain't getting rid of him that easy. That boy running for it. Holy shit.
Mr. Drippy!
Mr. Drippy! Aren't you forgetting someone? Phew, I pooped, man. You tried to leave without me or something. But, Drippy, we thought you wanted to stay back there in the fairy ground. Who told you that, man? And when exactly? What names, dates, times? We just thought all of your friends are back there. Of course they are, man. And they're very dear to me, even the stupid ones. But you and me have a team now, since you were but you and me have been a team now since you were a littly and I was just a doll. Isn't it, Ollie boy? I've been by your side through thick and thin. Remember what you said? You said I was your friend. You lot are all my friends, my companions, my brothers and sisters, my family. Ugh, I'm gonna be sick. Shut it, you. What I mean is, you lot are stuck with me whether you like it or not. So get that in your thick skulls, will you? Yes, sir, Mr. Drippy. We were only trying to be nice after we heard what you said to your friends yesterday. Oh, so it's my fault now, is it? I get it. You don't think I've been pulling my weight, is it? Fine. I'm gonna start using a little trick I know that'll blow your tiny minds. Drippy has finally gotten his act together and can now use Tidy Tears ability. I can't wait to see this. Anyway, looks like the gang's all here. Shall we get back to what we're supposed to be doing? What he said! To Hamelin! And the next great sage! Automania! Here we come! Let's go! Drippy joined you again. We almost got rid of him. I almost didn't have to do the accent and the voice that I struggle so hard to do. I'm sorry, guys. The brazen presumptuousness of the Tear Fairy's heart has unlocked a story in the Wizard's Compendium. Wizard's Compendium. Bleh. We'll read this in the actual book. The fairy who wouldn't stop crying.
The eye of the storm. Until now, the use of this most ancient of magics was the sole privilege of the overseers of this world. Was it too much for you, perhaps?
We granted you this privilege that you might finally dispose of the prophesied one.
My apologies, Your Radiance.
He's failed.
But the boy, he has a unique power.
Perhaps. Or perhaps you simply lack the power to stop him. Perhaps.
Apis.
Forgive me, Your Radiance.
Your Radiance.
Majesty, the boy is clearly protected by the most potent of magics. Could it be...
The sage, Alicia.
I had wondered, Your Radiance.
She who was foolish enough to stand against you. You think she troubles us even now, in the present?
The power that protects him would suggest so. But he will need more than the sage's aid to save the world. He cannot succeed without the weapon of the ancients, the wand wrought by the wizard king.
Mornstar.
Ooh.
Indeed. But we have no cause to fear its power. He will not find it. I have made that impossible. Making a wand disappear is the simplest of parlor tricks, after all.
You mean to say you have rid us of Mornstar?
I have. the most enduring symbol of the Wizard King's rule, now drifts free of time and space.
Mornstar. Fashioned in the image of our own council's wands and bestowed upon humanity. Yet now, a mere hindrance. You are certain the boy cannot possess it?
Not now, nor for all eternity.
Fucking Shador.
Mornstar.
Sounds like a guard might know if we grease his pockets. That guy right there. Mornstar. A legendary wand. Okay, interesting. Alright, we're going to take a couple fights on. Probably call it here, and then I guess in the next episode we'll start heading to Hamelin and Automania. Autumnia, however you say it. Automania. I think it's Autumnia and Hamelin. Autumnia and Hamelin. Trying to get the names right. I think I already have a Sparky. And I have a Splasher. Or Splisher. A Splisher. There you go, Eugene. Level 29. Check the map. And oh yeah, let's read the story while we're at it. I've read all of the Wizard Compendium stories. And I actually really like these. See all the pages? No. Where is it? The 12 Tales? Yeah. So we read the first tale, The Cowardly Prince and the Lion. We've read the second tale, The Squirrels and the Bramble, right? Oh no, we didn't have the second page for this yet, I think. Did we have the second page for this? $261, this goes to $264. We've read the fifth tale. That's the new one we got. I don't think we read the Shepherd Boy. We don't have all of the seventh tale. And I don't know if we read the sixth tale. Alright, well, let's start reading some tales, shall we? Let's read the second tale because I don't remember reading this. And I don't know if we have the whole thing, but the second tale, The Squirrels and the Bramble, Protectors of the Forest. Once upon a time, the whole world was lush and green and covered in countless forests. In the mild days of spring, children would play in their clearings, making necklaces from wild flowers, while in the summer, they would shelter from the sun under their ancient trees. And in autumn, of course, they would pick and eat their juicy fruits. Indeed, forests have always been important to youngsters, being carefree places in which to play with gay abandon. But what do you know of the forest guardians? Every forest has one. They are believed to be godlike creatures that protect the woods they inhabit, as well as all creatures that dwell within. But how do these guardians come into existence? Wow. I feel like maybe we did read this one. It's a short story, but The Squirrels and the Bramble. Alright, let's read the sixth tale. My Other Self. On a Hilltop. What follows is the extraordinary story of an ordinary little girl. When I was a little girl, I had the reddest hair you've ever seen, and I lived with my mother in a small village tucked away in the hills. I was never any good at magic, but I loved gardening, and could grow all sorts of flowers and medicinal herbs. Behind my house was a low hill from which you could enjoy a wonderful evening view. I used to walk to the top of it every night to sit on a big old root and watch the sun go down. One day my mother cut her hand on a glass that I had broke. Though she washed the wound straight away, just as she always taught me, the cuts soon became infected, and by the next morning she had a very high fever. I took care of her the best I could, of course, but several days passed without any improvement in her condition. Then one night, after I had cried myself to sleep with worry, I woke with a start to find myself standing in front of a strange door. I opened this door and walked through it to emerge on top of my favorite hill. It looked just the same as it always did, except for one thing. There was someone else there, sitting on my root and sobbing quietly. I took a sharp breath and thought to myself, could the girl sitting on the root actually be me? Her hair was just as red as mine, and it glittered like a ruby in the setting sun. The bright blue bird. I was feeling quite sad myself, but the girl sitting on the root seemed absolutely inconsolable. Feeling sorry for her, I asked, "Are you all right? Why are you crying?" At this, the weeping girl lifted her face, giving me another shock. It was exactly like mine. "I was careless, and my bird flew away," she said. "Oh, I did love it so." "So that's why you're crying." "I've been careless too, as it happens. I made my mother sick." I thought for a moment, then asked, "What kind of bird was it?" "It was blue, bright blue. It was so very beautiful." "My mother's eyes are blue as well." I sighed. "They don't seem to sparkle like they did before she took ill." We carried on talking for a little while, and before long we became firm friends. She loved gardening too, and was enjoying gazing at the sunset from the crests of the hill. It seemed we had absolutely everything in common. Eventually I said, "Here, take this. It's a flower I grew. It's called a warm welcome, and birds love it. Perhaps it might make your bluebird come back." I already put some of the flowers at my mother's bedside to try and make her feel better, as well as some in her hair. "Thank you," said the girl, smiling. "Oh my, it really does smell wonderful. Hey, would you like to come to my house?" I nodded, and off we went, down the hill together, and into the girl's house. She placed the flowers I'd given her to the window. Before long, we heard a sound. Peep, 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 cheep, cheep, cheep. A bluebird flew in the window. "Cheep, cheep," shouted the girl, recognizing her missing pet. Oh, Chi-Chi, recognizing her missing pet. The bird had flown straight from the vase that held the flowers. It seemed a little unsteady, as though one of its wings was injured, but it couldn't help feeling happy that the warm welcome I'd given the girl had made her bird come back. Waking from the dream. All of a sudden I was in front of the strange door again. I walked through it, found myself lying in bed once more. It was just a dream, I sighed. Then I threw off the sheets and went to my mother's bedroom. Much to my surprise, though, I found that she wasn't there. That's when I heard a sound coming from the kitchen and ran downstairs. "Mother!" I cried. "Good morning," she replied cheerily. "You must have been wondering where I'd gotten to." "I just felt so much better when I woke this morning. Now then, would you like some breakfast? I'm famished." And my mother's blue eyes were sparkling once more. Every person in this world has a soulmate, a person in another world with whom they share a soul. Soulmates' destinies are intertwined, and occasionally they even overlap. So should you ever chance to step through a strange door, do not be surprised if you meet someone just like you. Interesting. I think we read The Shepherd Boy? No? Let's read The Shepherd Boy, and then we're going to read the third tale. The Shepherd Boy, the Lazy Son. Two shepherds, who were father and son, worked together in the fields. The father looked after the sheep from morning till night, constantly patrolling the pasture and looking out for wolves. The son, however, spent every day at leisure, staring at the distance and not lifting a finger to help his father. Did we read this one? This one kind of sounds familiar. One day, the father turned to his son and said with regret, "I'm getting too old and shall soon be retiring. Though you are my only son, it has become clear to me that you have no enthusiasm for shepherding. I'm starting to think that I should be better entrusting my flock to someone else." The son was quite shocked, for the flock was his only livelihood, and resolved to start assisting his father in the fields, chasing shepherd, tending the grass, and so on. Alas, he soon grew tired of such task. At a loss of what to do, the son supposed he should pay a visit to the old Father Oak, an ancient tree in the deep, dark wood, possessed of infinite wisdom on the matters. "Oh, old Father Oak, is there not some manner of fruit that I can swallow to excite my enthusiasm?" the son asked in vexation. "I am afraid that such things do not exist," replied old Father Oak. "There is, however, a fountain hidden deep within a nearby forest. Drinking of its water provides a goodly dose of energy." The fountain. The sun traveled in the direction indicated by old Father Oak until he came to the fountain, and tested its cool surface with his hand. I shall take some of the water home with me, he thought, before realizing that he has no vessel in which to carry it. Alas, I must return home empty-handed, he lamented. The sun was about to go fetch a jug when he decided to sample a mouthful of the fountain's water. Surely enough, he immediately felt the great surge of energy that old Father Oak had predicted, and used his axe to chop down a nearby tree, carving it into a pitcher that was almost as big as himself. Once the pitcher was finished, the son filled it with the water from the fountain and made for home. The vessel was very happy, and the journey was a long one. He nearly gave The vessel was very heavy, and The vessel was very heavy, and the journey was a long one. He nearly gave up on several occasions, but every time he felt like abandoning his journey, he would stop by the wayside to take another gulp of water from the pitcher, and eventually he arrived back home. I have enough water here to last a lifetime, the son thought, with a sigh of relief. He was very weary, and he fell into bed to sleep soundly until morning. I bet you he drank it all. The pitcher. The son awoke from his slumber and resolved to take another drink from the water from the pitcher. Oh, how full of life I am, he exclaimed happily, and set about his duties at double the usual speed. As he did so, he resolved that no one else must be allowed to drink this precious water in the pitcher. In the days that followed, the son spent much of his time ensuring that no one went near this pitcher. Yet he took care to attend to his chores while he did so, knowing that his father would otherwise be angry. Whenever a villager approached the pitcher for a drink of water, the son would interrupt his own labors and offer a cup of different water, thus preventing any of the water in the pitcher from going to waste. He was also reluctant to waste the water from the fountain on himself, and so worked hard every day without touching it. Then, one very hot day, after the son had been hard at work in the fields, he realized that a terrible thing had happened. The water had evaporated in the searing heat of the sun. When the son realized that the water upon which his future depended had disappeared, he was overcome with despair and collapsed upon the grass. The sight of the son lying prone excited the villagers' concerns, and they rushed to see if he was all right, for the son had gained reputation in the village for being kind and hard-working on account of all the cups of water he was wont to provide thirsty villagers. Okay. I know my reading is bad, but that's just not right. Some of the villagers gave the son a drink of water as he lay there, and he was amazed at how delicious it tasted. It was the freshest, cleanest water he'd ever drank, and, what's more, it gave him the same surge of energy that the water from the fountain had done. His father stood next to him and said kindly, "No water on earth can compare to the first water you drink after sweating all day. Why, I should think it is a fair sight better than the water from that fountain." For the father knew that the son had visited the fountain. The son rose to his feet and smiled back at his father. "You are right, father. It truly is better by far. Hard toil brings its own rewards." Sometimes it's so hard to read these. Alright. Last one. The Fairy Who Won't Stop Crying. I just want to be caught up on these because we skipped a few once and now I'm like behind a couple. Alright, let me try and not make any mistakes here. The Fairy Who Wouldn't Stop Crying. The Teary Fairy. Sit tight, boys and girls. I've got a story to tell you. A fairy tale, if you like. Fairies like me used to be 10 a penny, see? But you'd be hard-pressed to find one these days. Always on the move we are. Anyway, this is a story about a very special fairy. And while it all happened a long, long time ago, the fairy's still going strong. The fairy's still going strong today, or so I hoped, anyway. Right then, let's get a crack on. Hit it. This story is about a little fairy who wouldn't stop crying. Sobbing, he was, all day and night. Now, us fairies are hell of impressionable, especially when we're little. We learn all sorts of tidy tricks from other fairies, but we can pick up on bad habits just as easy. I don't know whose miserable mug this poor Dab saw when he first popped out into the world, but it must have been proper tragic, because the first thing he ever did in his life was cry. And then he kept on crying. Now, it's not like this fairy wanted to be spouting tears all the time. He just couldn't help himself. Every time it got dark, he'd well up, like blinking clockwork he was. What's more, young fairies can be hell of a cruel. And this little cry fairy got ribbed something terrible. All of which just made him want to cry even more, of course. The puddle of tears. One day, a traveling wizard happened to spot this fairy standing next to a puddle of tears. He was proper knackered, this wizard, and hella thirsty. Hell of a thirsty. So what he did was, he took a drink from the puddle, innit? There's lovely, he thought, and felt 10 times better straight away. Then, off he went, with a spring in his step, and got on with his wizardly work. A bit later, when everything was done, he decided to go back and thank the fairy for the tears he drank, But when he came back, the puddle was even bigger than before. Oh, fairy, he said, in this grand old voice, why do you cry so much? I've been gone 3 days and you still weep. Sob, said the fairy. Scared I am, scared of the dark, and I don't know what to do about it. After a few more sobs, he went on, and everyone makes fun of me. Good for nothing I am. Life's rubbish. And with that, he went back on sobbing. I see, said the wise old wizard, stroking his big white beard. Perhaps a lantern is what you need. So he whips the tidy lantern out of his cloak and plonks it on the end of the fairy's nose, right? Now, oh, it's Drippy, the sobbing, crying fairy. Now, the light from the lantern made the fairy blink like mad, but it didn't half cheer him up, and sure enough, he stopped crying. Felt like he'd been born again, he did. You see, little fairy, said the wizard, you shall never be in the dark again, no matter where you go. I'm not scared anymore, the fairy gasped, cracking the first smile of his whole life. And you are no longer good for nothing either, laughed the wizard. The smile of yours will bring comfort to a great many of people. Come with me and I shall show you. So the fairy picked up his daps in a little bag and went off with the wizard. They had some pretty hair-raising adventures and all, but the fairy never once got scared. He had the lantern on the end of his nose, see? And even after he parted ways with the kindly wizard, he never cried again, and the light on his nose is still shining to this day. Have a look around, he might be right nearby. Well, what do you say? Proper tidy tale, wasn't it? Bet you got a tear in your eye now. That was a pretty good one. Alright, well, we're going to call this one here for now. Let's hit a quick save, shall we? Level 30, baby. Hamelin, here we come. Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next one. We're all caught up on the lore, so we don't have to do any more reading. I know, we've got all the stories. Good, yada yada. See you guys in the next one. Peace and love. God bless, gamers.